Hey, what's going on, everybody? Jake, Fantasy Headliners, back at you. Another episode, another mock draft. Still brought to you by RotoBaller. Hope everybody's doing good out there. Hadn't done a mock draft here in a couple weeks. Figured we'd fire it back up, kind of see where the ADP changes and everything we're at. But we're going to do a little bit different. I know a lot of people out there asking questions. Do I go zero RB? Do I go zero wide receiver? What is the better option? So today we're going to be talking about the whole zero RB theory that a lot of people are throwing out there. And if you've watched this show before, you kind of know that I love my running backs. So it's hard for me to pass on them, but we're going to go ahead and give it a shot and see what we come up with as a team. And then we can debate it whether we like this strategy or not. So we're going to get right into it. As usual, going to be using the Fantasy Pros Draft Wizard. I already got it all queued up here. I'll make sure I have the description down in the link down in the description for you guys to find this if you'd like. Listen, it's the beginning of July, right? It's getting close to draft time. Our mock draft's going to be exactly how it turns out in your league. Absolutely not. But it kind of gives you a good, estimate of what rounds people are going and kind of what positions to take in what rounds. So that's what we're doing here. I got it all keyed up here for the 2018 season. We're doing a half-point PPR league, snake-style draft. We're going to do 10 teams, and we're going to be drafting in the 5th position, right there in the middle, so you can kind of get a good kind of feel because everybody's got different draft positions, obviously. So we'll stick right there at 5. The roster makeups are usual. We got 1 quarterback, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 tight end, 1 flex position, a defense kicker, and 6 bench spots. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. We're just going to use the expert consensus rankings, go down here, and start our draft. And like I said, we're doing a zero RB strategy here, so we're going to be going heavy wide receiver at the beginning. And like I said, I'm more of a running back type of guy, but we're going to see how it turns out. So first thing I always do is come down here and hide your drafted players because if they've already been selected, I don't care to see their names. All right, so right now the consensus is telling us the best overall pick is going to be Ezekiel Elliott. And in normal drafts where you're not doing one of these strategies, that's probably who I would take also. But being that we're going zero RB, that's our goal going in. We're going to go heavy receiver. Right now, the best receiver on the board is obviously, to me, right now going to be DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, he's arguably one of the best outside of Antonio Brown. Odell and Julio's names are always mentioned up there, but the top 2, to me, hands down, Antonio Brown, DeAndre Hopkins. So first round, we're going DeAndre Hopkins. We'll see how it turns out here. And now we get the option. We come back here, second round pick. We got our wide receivers of Keenan Allen, A.J. Green, Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, and Doug Baldwin. Man, that's tough. Being that we're going heavy wide receiver, like we've said before, Keenan Allen is somebody definitely in PPR leagues that you need to be targeting just for the amount of volume that he sees on a weekly basis. It's huge. I mean, there'll be weeks where he gets 10-plus targets or 10-plus catches, and that alone can help you out. Now, this is not a full PPR league, but it is half-point PPR. And being that it is still a half-point PPR, we're going to go ahead and go with Keenan Allen here, try to soak up some of those receptions, pair him with DeAndre Hopkins, and could easily have 2 guys with 100-catch capability here in the first 2 rounds. So there we go, Hopkins and Allen now on the squad. Starting to feel a little bit weird because I don't have a running back yet. But we're going to be committed to this team and see how it turns out. Going heavy wide receiver again, right? We're going 3 straight rounds of wide receiver, or we can look at the tight end position. Travis Kelce sitting there with Zach Ertz and Greg Olsen. Or we can go with Mike Evans, Tyreek Hill, T.Y. Hilton, or Larry Fitzgerald. To me, right now, the only true options are going to be either Mike Evans or Travis Kelce. Am I overly high on either one of them? Not really. I mean, Evans is going to see volume probably. Evans has kind of had a down, up year, down year type of, last few years, but I don't count on that. Being that Jameis Winston is out now for, a few games, that kind of hurts Evans a little bit. Tyreek Hill, I'm not overly high on. So Travis Kelce is somebody who is risky for the price that you have to pay to get him, right? I mean, he doesn't have Alex Smith anymore. He's got Pat Mahomes. We don't know who Pat Mahomes is going to throw to. They still got Tyreek Hill and Sammy Watkins and all those running backs on the roster. There's no guarantee that Travis Kelce, sees the volume that he saw in the past few years. He's got a new offensive coordinator. You just don't know, and it's kind of early to take it. So this is what I'm going to do, and it's a little risky, but that's why we do these mock drafts. Larry Fitzgerald is somebody who, if you guys have watched this show, I always talk about. Larry Fitzgerald is probably one of the most consistent wide receivers to have played his entire career without having a solid quarterback his entire career. I mean, he's just a consummate professional, said to be his last year, more than likely will be. They get Sam Bradford and Josh Rosen under center, which to me is an upgrade over Drew Stanton and an injured Carson Palmer. Do I think Bradford makes it all season? No, I don't. But I don't think the drop-off to Rosen is going to be that big. Rosen's been looking great in minicamps and OTAs, picking up the playbook. You know, he's got all the potential there in order to feed Larry Fitzgerald. So a lot of you guys may think I'm crazy for passing on Mike Evans, Tyreek Hill, T.Y. Hilton, possibly with Andrew Luck. But I'm going to go here for my flex position with Larry Fitzgerald for the safety part of it. He's right around 100 catches every year. So right now we'll have 3 guys on the roster with 100-catch potential. And even if it's a half-point PPR league, that's great value. It's a little early for Fitzgerald, but when you're going this heavy wide receiver, you don't want to just take somebody who's on the top of the list just because they're there, right? That's kind of defeats the point. So now, still can't go running back. Got to go heavy everywhere else. So the only 2 options really right now is tight end or quarterback. I mean, we're not going to start filling our bench spots yet. I am a big advocate for going late-round quarterback, especially this year because it's so deep. But look at it right now. I mean, we still got Aaron Rodgers sitting there. 4th round, we can get ourselves the top quarterback overall, or we can go in there and take a chance on Greg Olsen, Evan Ingram, Jimmy Graham, or Delaney Walker. To me, none of those guys overly stand out over one another. I think after you get past the Gronk, Kelce, Ertz, it's kind of a toss-up as far as the tight end position goes. I do like Kyle Rudolph, and he may be there another round or 2 later for us to try to pick up. So I'm going to do something else I don't normally do, and we're going to go a quarterback early. Now, this is 4th round quarterback. Usually I don't like to do it anywhere earlier than the 6th round, but it's a 0 RB strategy. We can't be taking these guys yet. We're going to make sure our roster is full of studs everywhere else and see what we come up with. So we're going to go with Aaron Rodgers. Now we got to go one more round, right? One more round in order to get to the running back position, and it's tough. I mean, Joe Mixon is a huge breakout for a lot of people this year. We could put him in there. He'd be our RB1. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I like running backs, so this is already making me uneasy a little bit. But the only other option we have here is Evan Ingram, Jimmy Graham, Delaney Walker, Kyle Rudolph. All right, so to me, the biggest or the highest ceiling, I guess you could say, maybe Jimmy Graham. Maybe, but, I mean, it's not a guarantee in Green Bay. They haven't used their tight ends a whole lot in the past, but, I mean, it's possible he has that high touchdown upside. Delaney Walker's been, a consistent tight end. Kyle Rudolph is somebody who I really like this year. They got him a little lower ranked, but I think with Kirk Cousins coming in, somebody who's always targeted the tight end, whether it's been Jordan Reed or Vernon Davis, he's always had that ability to find his tight end. Now, Minnesota does have a lot of weapons on the offense, and it's not just going to be Kyle Rudolph out there. You got Diggs and Thielen, and you get Dalvin Cook back in the backfield. They have options. Evan Ingram has a high ceiling, more of a wide receiver and a tight end's – I can't even say a tight end's body. He's just at the tight end position. And I like him also. I don't think any of these guys right here, though, Ingram, Graham, Walker, Rudolph, even Jordan Reed, if he can stay healthy, and Trey Burton, I don't know if one of these guys is just head and shoulders above the other. So, listen, we're trying to win, right? I mean, we're not just doing this strategy just to pick bad players. So we're going to break strategy a little bit. We're going to go ahead and take Joe Mixon right here. Did we go full 0 RB? No, but we did wait till round 5, which is a lot later than a lot of people wait. So we're going to go ahead and take the best player available at a position that we need, and we're going to go ahead and take Joe Mixon right here and cheat just a little bit. Now when it comes back, we go back, and really what we're looking for right now is tight ends, and then we get to go crazy with running backs, right? Trying to find that diamond in the rough since we didn't get none of the studs there at the beginning at the running back position. So we still got Delaney Walker and Kyle Rudolph. Best available running backs, Darius Geis, Jay Ajayi, Rashad Penny, Deion Lewis, and Derrick Henry. We are. We're trying to really, really test this zero RB strategy, right? We're trying to do the best we can with it for you guys who want to do this strategy. So we're going to stick with the tight end position. All right, we got Walker, Rudolph, and Reed. I've talked about Rudolph a couple times already. Like the touchdown upside in a high-powered offense. No need to talk about him anymore. We're going to go ahead and take Kyle Rudolph right here. Now, we have our quarterback. We have one running back because we slightly cheated, but don't tell anybody. We got DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Allen, Kyle Rudolph, and Larry Fitzgerald. That's a whole lot of receptions right there. And now that I love running backs, we're going to go crazy with running backs. But we got to find the high upside guys. And we got to find a lot of them. So here we go. We got Darius Geis, Jay Ajayi, Rashad Penny, Dion Lewis, Derrick Henry. Now, Darius Geis is somebody who I really, really do like. I do believe he'll have, a fair share of the work come week 1. But they still have Chris Thompson there who's going to, command a few touches, every single game. P. Ryan and Fat Rob still on the roster as of right now. Do I think they really eat into Geis' workload come week 1? Not a whole lot, if they're even on the roster. But there is that competition still, and you never know what's going to happen. Jay Ajayi in Philly. A lot of people have hopped off this bandwagon. And if I were to select Jay Ajayi, I would probably click off the video right now. But listen to me when I talk about Jay Ajayi for a second. We all know LeGarrette Blount's out of town. And Philly's one of the highest powered offenses and probably one of the most elite defenses in the league right now. You put those two together, I can see a lot of second half leads in Philadelphia. What do the majority of NFL teams do when they have a lead in the second half? They run the ball. And I know Jay Ajayi burned a lot of people last year, and I was one of them. But let's be realistic. I mean, Jay Ajayi, a couple years ago was a top 10 running back, and he was drafted as a top 10 last year, didn't pan out. But now he gets a little bit more of a chance. He produced last year in Philly when he was given the opportunity. He just could barely crack the 10-carry mark, any game. He's going to get that opportunity this year, even though Corey Clement, Wendell Smallwood, those guys are still there, Darren Sproles. But Jay Ajayi is somebody with RB1 potential that we can go ahead and get right now in the 7th round at the 65th overall pick. We're not investing a whole lot in him, but he has that high upside. So we're going to go ahead and take Jay Ajayi right here. Don't click off the video. I'll explain myself later. Still going heavy running back. Right now we don't have a choice. We got to try to fill these slots. Darius Geis still available with both Lewis and Henry. Lamar Miller, somebody who's intriguing. Another team who has an improved offense and defense now that everybody's healthy. Lamar Miller could benefit from all that work, but he hasn't done a whole lot with the work in the past. Royce Freeman is a rookie that I love, could be a 3-down back in Denver. Derrick Henry, I did love until they got Dion Lewis. I really don't understand what they're going to do with these two lately. I can't even guarantee you that Henry gets the goal line touches because Lewis is more than capable of it. So being that we have 2 starters already with Jay Ajayi and Joe Mixon, we're gonna try to hit the home run on the lottery ticket with a rookie. So we're going to go ahead and go with Darius Geis right now. We do expect him to win the job out of camp. And the kid's electric. All he needs is an opportunity, and I think he can go ahead and take advantage of it. So we're going to go ahead and make Darius Geis our selection. I feel a lot better being able to pick all these running backs. I was getting a little shaky there for a minute. I'm starting to get a little worried. I'm going to pick another one. I just love picking them so much. Let's get another one in there. We got Lamar Miller, Tevin Coleman, Chris Thompson, Marshawn Lynch, Duke Johnson. I mean, if you guys are like me, none of those guys are really hopping off the screen at you. I mean, I like them. I like a few of them. Lamar Miller, I think, gets the most work out of that group week 1, right? Starting week 1, he'll be the starter in Houston. He's going to get the opportunity, and that's more than you can say for the other guys right now. Marshawn Lynch even has, Doug Martin to contend with, Duke Johnson with Carlos Hyde and Nick Chubb. Chris Thompson, we already took Darius Geis. We're not going to take him. Tevin Coleman has a role, but it's not going to be a full role with Devontae Freeman healthy. So we're going to go ahead and take Lamar Miller here just because we know week 1, he's guaranteed volume. Can't score points if we don't have volume, right? All right, so now on our roster, you take a look at it. We got 4 running backs overall. We've got three. We have 3 or 3, either one you decide. Tell me later. We're going to go ahead and pick another wide receiver now, though. Let's get ourselves to 4 total wide receivers. We got Jamison Crowder, Nelson Aguilar, Kelvin Benjamin, Rashard Matthews. I'm going to go ahead and take a look up here. And Jamison Crowder is interesting to me. I mean, now that Alex Smith is there in Washington, it's possible that Jamison Crowder gets a little bit of an uptick in volume. I mean, Josh Doxson is there, yes. I mean, Jordan Reed may be healthy, maybe. I mean, we don't know. Jamison Crowder has kind of been the one guy who's been consistent there. And being that this is a half-point PPR league, he has a tendency to – I mean, he's seen double-digit targets before. I mean, he's only our wide receiver 4 on our roster. We don't need to rely on him week 1, but he could see a huge volume. So we're going to go ahead and go with Jamison Crowder. Right now, let's get a little bit of depth at the tight end position if we can, unless there's somebody available at the wide receiver or running back position that really stands out. Tarik Cohen, I do like Tarik Cohen. He has a chance to have, a larger share of volume this year in Chicago than he had last year. Aaron Jones is right now somewhat the favorite to win the job in Green Bay, but you still have Jamal Williams there to contend with. Trey Burton, I do like. Trey Burton is somebody who, coming into that Nagy offense there in Chicago, they've already said that they'd kind of like to turn him into a Travis Kelce light. That's huge upside, especially somebody for Trubisky that could be a solid target across the middle of the field. Doesn't have to run a lot of deep routes. Trubisky could be opened up a little bit this year, but Trey Burton is intriguing. So let's go ahead and take Trey Burton right now for the potential upside that he has. And now, the last 4 rounds of the draft. And this is where I like to say you obviously have to take your kicker and your defense here at some point. And the other 2 positions, I don't care what position they play. I'm going to take the best person available no matter what it is. So I do want to take a second quarterback usually, but you kind of need to look at the draft list. Make sure that there's not somebody on here that, is going to be a free agent and you may be able to pick up later on that you like. Right now, Matthew Stafford being available, I do have him ranked as a top 10 quarterback this year. The opportunity to have 2 top 10 quarterbacks on your roster just in case one gets hurt is intriguing to me. I don't want to have a huge fall-off if Aaron Rodgers breaks his collarbone again, and I'm stuck streaming quarterbacks every week. So I'm going to go ahead right now. I'm going to take Matthew Stafford, get a little bit of insurance for Aaron Rodgers. Last positional pick of the draft. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a pro tip here, all right? And I don't even want to call it a pro tip because this is just a tip. Take a look at who's available. Right now at the end of drafts, a lot of these teams are getting ready to take defenses and kickers, right? It's the last pick before everybody makes their run. In your home league, it may happen a little bit earlier. But right now, take a look at all the receivers that are available. You got Allen Hurns, could be the number 1 option in Dallas. Cam Meredith, he was a huge hype wide receiver last year in Chicago, going to New Orleans. Don't know exactly how much he sees there, but he's got high potential. Calvin Ridley, somebody in Atlanta that could see, a decent workload and has a lot of opportunity and potential there also. Anthony Miller, great rookie in Chicago. You got options, right? We have a few options that we can choose. Not all these guys are going to be going right here. So why don't you go down and grab yourself the top defense around early. Go down and get them. Get the top one, either them. You got the Rams, you got the Chargers. All 3 of these teams are going to be elite. Try to get one of them if you can. There's plenty of weeks where your defense can win it for you. Go out and grab them around early if you got options available. And you can see a lot of the same wide receivers are still there. None of them really went. Everybody's picking up, running backs and quarterbacks, and we got ours already. So there's still plenty of options. So if that's the case, to me, Greg Zuerlein's the top kicker in the league this year. Go get the number 1 kicker. Get him around early. That way you don't miss out on the next round. Got ourselves the top defense and top kicker. And now you still have the same wide receivers available because now everybody's taking defenses and kickers. So you waited a couple rounds, but now you still get the potential of the same guys you had there 2 rounds ago. And what'd you get out of it? The top defense and the top kicker. So right now, to me, we're going to go upside. We're going to go with Calvin Ridley. We already have, Hopkins, Allen, Fitzgerald, and Crowder. So we have our vets in there already. Let's take a shot on a lottery ticket. Go out and get Calvin Ridley. If he hits a home run, we're solid. We're golden. We have trade bait. We have depth, whatever we need. If he doesn't, he's the last pick of the draft, and who cares? So we're going to go ahead and take him and see what score we get here on Fantasy Pros. Wow. We got a 98 out of 100. That's a pretty good score. Overall, A+. And look at the team. I mean, it's pretty well stacked for a half-point PPR league. Aaron Rodgers. Still got Joe Mixon, Jay Ajayi, DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Allen, Kyle Rudolph, Larry Fitzgerald, the Jags, Greg Zuerlein, Darius Geist, Lamar Miller, Jamison Crowder, Trey Burton, Matthew Stafford, and Calvin Ridley. I would take this team all day, every day. I don't care what type of league it is. That's a pretty solid team, and we basically went 0 running back for the whole thing. It's kind of winning me over a little bit. Starting to like some wide receivers. But, hey, I want to know what you guys think. Make sure you hit me up below in the comment section. Make sure you're liking and commenting. Let me know what you guys thought of it. Is this something you plan on doing? Is it something you couldn't do because you can't pass on the running backs? Hit me up down below. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. We'll talk to you guys later. Thanks.